We're happy to have you. Okay, we'll call to order this meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals for October 7th, 2025. Alternate member Judy Cleary is sitting in for Commissioner Poisson. Alternate member Christine Doolin is sitting in for Commissioner Mike Carroll. So let's get started. We have Ms. Lynch, you want to call petition number 1?
Good evening, everyone. 25 Audie Lane, petition of Devontae Teal, seeking a site plan review of variance of 3.21C of the side yard setback, overall building coverage, and 7.5.1 for the expansion of a non-confronting structure for a proposal second floor addition over the existing footprint of a single-family dwelling in a RS-4 zone. Hardship, pre-existing, non-conforming structure.
Okay, is the petitioner present? Please come forward, give us your name and address and description of what you're looking to do.
How you doing? My name is Devontae Teal. I currently live at 25 Audie Lane. I'm here for the petition of a variance of the zoning regulation for the 10 feet side yard setback.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I currently have a non-compliant pre-existing structure that is set back 9 feet 7 inches. So I'm here asking for 5 inches to build a vertical addition to my house that would not expand the footprint of the structure.
Okay.
And if I can just make a note.
Sure thing, go ahead.
I know the agenda says he's asking for a variance of the side yard setback and overall building coverage. The building coverage does not need a variance. It's
Okay.
pre-existing and it's not changing. It's currently at 26% and it's going to remain at 26%.
So no change in the building coverage? Or
Correct.
no variance needed in the
Correct.
or BLDG coverage?
So the variances being requested are for the side yard setback and the expansion of the existing non-conforming structure.
Okay. Questions from members?
The house is cute the way it looks now. I like it.
Thank you. I'm having another kid. That's why I'm trying to get an extra room.
Makes sense, congratulations. Yeah. It seems, at least to me, it seems pretty straightforward. You know, it's documented proof of the situation with the lot coverage and so on. How long have you lived at the house?
5 years.
5 years? Okay, and obviously this was not something you were really concerned about until you had the other kid coming along, so
Until I
that
have
makes sense.
having my third kid.
There you go. Okay, I think that pretty much satisfies it. It looks like no other major changes, so I don't have any further questions.
It's like there's a lot of house packs into that property.
Yes.
I drove by there today.
Oh, really?
It's a really, it's a very nice
Thank you very much.
little community there,
Thank you.
and, lovely.
Thank you.
But I just, have to say, you used every bit of the
I have.
lot.
I have so far. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? If not, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Are there any members of the public that wish to speak in favor of this petition? Anyone in favor? Anybody wish to speak in opposition? Anyone in opposition? If not, we'll take a motion to close the public hearing on this particular item by Ms. Sweely, second by Ms. Doolin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Carries unanimously. We'll take it up during our administrative session. Petition number 2, Ms. Sweely, you want to call that one?
Petition of James and Tricia Lynch seeking a site plan review and variances of 3.2.1C of the front yard setback where addition for an in-law apartment incidental to an existing single-family dwelling in an RS4 zone. Hardship: property is a corner lot that has an excessively large town right-of-way on both corners. Existing house is pre-existing non-conforming.
Okay, is the petitioner present?
Now,
Oh, sorry. All set? Petitioner present? Okay, please come forward, give us your name and address and description of what you're looking to do.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Jim Lynch. Here with my wife, Patricia Lynch, and actually my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. We live at 82 Prospect Drive and have lived here for the past 26 years. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak this evening regarding our variance request. The hardship that we bring before you stems from the unique characteristics of our property as a corner lot with an unusually large town right-of-way. This condition significantly reduces the buildable area compared to other properties in the neighborhood. The deep right-of-way and the requirement for 2 front setbacks, one on each street frontage, limit how the property can be reasonably used, even though it is similar in size and zoning to nearby lots. We are respectfully requesting a variance to reduce the setback from 20 feet to 9 feet in order to construct a small accessory dwelling unit for my elderly mother-in-law. This addition would allow her to safely age in place with family support while maintaining her independence. This hardship was not self-created and arises solely from the town's right-of-way configuration and the dual setbacks required for corner lots. Granting this variance would not change the essential character of the neighborhood. In fact, the proposed ADU has been thoughtfully designed to complement the existing home and surrounding properties. We have also spoken with our immediate neighbors, and I am pleased to share that they are all supportive of our plan and understand the need for this small adjustment. I also have a letter that I'll present from my immediate neighbor, Donna Alves, who has given her support for the addition. We believe this request meets the criteria for variance because, 1, the hardship is unique to the property due to the unusually large right-of-way and corner lot configuration. 2, the hardship was not created by us, the property owner. And 3, granting the variance will not alter the character of the neighborhood or undermine the intent of the zoning regulations. In summary, the variance would allow a reasonable and compassionate use of our property to accommodate an elderly family member while maintaining neighborhood harmony and visual consistency. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'd be happy to answer any questions. And I did want to submit the letter from our neighbor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, questions from commissioners?
I'm just trying to picture now, this addition, is that going to fall into the backyard area that you have inside that fence? Is that where it will be?
It will
So
start
it won't even be visible to the rest of the neighborhood,
not,
because it'll be right inside your backyard? Yeah,
Bi-
okay. We were trying to figure that out from what we
yeah, so if you
have.
look behind like the chimney area there, it would start back beyond that
Yeah.
and go into the backyard, yes.
I certainly envy you all the space that you do have,
It-
you know.
The
with
corner
the
lot
yards
is
and-
great, it's just, there's obviously constraints to it as well.
And you said you've lived there 26 years?
26 years, yes.
Can't believe that. You look
Yeah.
like about 26 years old yourself.
Well, thank you. I teach middle school, they keep me young.
Okay. And the neighbors have no issues with it, so, the neighbor. What a nice neighborhood that is, too. And they're all different.
Very, very lucky.
Yeah, a
Yes.
lot of character.
Yeah.
Will the big tree stay?
So that tree has actually been a concern for many years. Actually, UI came out and they wanted to take it down. We were obviously not for it, but based on, you know, where the addition is going to go and if, you know, when we do the footing, you know, the footing and digging, I think it's going to have to go.
I know.
And obviously, that will be a part of a plan to make sure that we, do new plantings. If you look at the survey, it's technically half not even on our property. So it's like partly town, partly us, but like I said, UI did, and the problem is when they come out, they really chop and don't make it look very nice. Every storm, we definitely feel, a little bit of angst with such a large tree there, but clearly we would not want to lose it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now, would your mother-in-law have her own entrance and exit in the back?
It would be in the back, yes.
Okay. And what about weather conditions, because, it's snow and it would be cleared and for her?
Everything, we make, obviously, if I want to stay married to my wife, then yes, I will make sure that all that's taken care of, absolutely.
All right.
I have a question. On the upstairs, there's only a bedroom that's proposed?
Yes, yes.
So your elderly mother-in-law would have to go downstairs, well, have to get upstairs and then go downstairs for
Well,
the bathroom.
so I think that is still, ideally, obviously, we want her on the first floor to keep her from having to go up, but she currently has a chairlift where she's living, so if we needed to do something like that, we could.
Oh.
Just to repeat, you said that the, most of the addition is going to be at the back of the residence?
So starting, we have, on the
Yeah.
survey there, you can see where the fence is.
Okay.
It's basically starting just in front of that fence and then would go,
Oh,
towards the back there.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And
Is
it's
that-
attached to the house, right?
Yes,
To your house?
yes.
Is there an entrance from the house?
We would
into-
have an entrance coming from the house,
Okay.
yes.
Certainly is a dream property.
The reason I was just asking is that I guess it was a subject of another variance some years ago,
Yep,
that you're very close on the, I guess, let's see, that's north, I guess on the eastern side of your property?
Yep.
To the other one, right.
yes, to the neighbor.
To the neighbor.
Yes, yes,
Enrique Pays?
yes,
Yep.
yes.
Okay.
Yep. Our garages are basically, pretty close to one another.
Okay. Yeah, it really is an unusual large right-of-way. And it's very common down in that street, which is unique. I'm not sure what the thought was many years
Yeah,
ago.
We researched it out, and we're really definitely, interested. It was definitely not something that we didn't think it was going to be that big, but
Yeah.
it is large, yeah.
But it's to your benefit here because, considering the small side of that other yard, you don't want to be going like end to end on the property completely. So that actually does help, which is good.
Yep.
Okay. And how long did you say you lived there?
26 years.
26 years.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions, commissioners?
I don't understand the town right-of-way.
Yeah,
What is,
I don't really understand what that means.
Do you want to give a,
Right of way to what?
So, in this case, there's a town right-of-way on Hemlock, which is, a right-of-way is just a parcel of property owned by, in this case, the town, which usually is set aside for utilities or sidewalks. A lot of areas, when you have a sidewalk there, the property lines are right up to that sidewalk. In this case, they have a 17-foot right-of-way on Hemlock, which is town-owned, and then Prospect Drive is a state road. So the state owns the first roughly 35 to 40 feet from the curb going in towards their front house, and then their property line starts.
So the right of way is just basically in case sometime in the future they want to put in sidewalks?
I have no idea why the right-of-way is
Yeah,
as
that's-
large as it is.
That's what I don't understand.
Yeah. It's been, from what I could tell, and I've tried to look at maps going back, I talked to the engineering department. As far as they know, it's been like that. The state wanted an extra large right-of-way there for one reason or another back when. And
That's the part that's hard to understand. Why did they want it, you know?
Yep.
But,
Okay. Ms., you still have a question? Ms. Doolan?
I just, if it's a town right away, are we, the town, addressing this issue for him, or should someone from the town be addressing this?
So I had thought, initially going into this, I didn't realize Prospect was a state-owned road. And I had, when Jay Hibansky was here, I always talked to him. I said, the town should sell this back to the residents there, take a normal town right-of-way, and because the residents there essentially maintain it. They mow the lawn, they keep the front areas clean. In this case, they have 35 feet of their driveway on state property that they shovel every day on state property during the winter, so. This one's a little unique, but every property has some sort of town or state right-of-way in front of it.
Further questions from members? No? Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anybody that wishes to speak in favor of this petition? Anybody wish to speak in favor? Anybody wish to speak in opposition to the petition? Anyone in opposition? Okay, we'll take a motion to close the public hearing on this item by Ms. Lynch, second by Ms. Cleary. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Opposed, no. Carries unanimously. We'll take a motion to conclude our public hearing by Ms. Sweely, second by Ms. Cleary. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Our public hearing is closed at 7:35 PM, and we'll immediately go into our administrative session. Yes.
What about the Orinoco Lane?
We had actually closed that public hearing, so we'll take it up as part of our administrative
Oh, okay,
session. Yep.
okay.
Okay. So let's start off with Audi Lane. Can we take a motion to take it off the table?
Yes.
By Ms.
Yes.
Lynch, second. Ms. Cleary. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Carries unanimously. We can now discuss. Can we take a motion to approve?
Approve.
Approved by Ms. Lynch, second by Ms. Cleary. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Discussion.
I received in the mail a picture saying the fence was already installed.
We're talking about Audi Lane.
Pardon me?
We're talking about
Lane.
Audi Lane.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep,
That was.
We're talking about this
gentleman.
gentleman.
yeah. We'll do 1 and 2, and then we'll take up the tabled item, okay? So Audi Lane.
So Audi Lane, for Mr. Teal, his resident for 5 years, apparently inherited this house that was constructed in 1999. He's asking for a second floor addition due to having a third child in the home to expand to the second floor. And to me, that structure, it'll be suitable for a single-family dwelling. I think the RS4 zone in the neighborhood is coincide with his setback of 10 feet to the current existing of setback of 9.7 feet along with the southern property line. And the applicant's also requesting a 7.5 to allow for the expansion, which is a pre-existing non-conforming structure that he inherited and that he did not know of.
Okay. Further discussion? Okay. I would just add, this is As we said, it's a non-conforming, pre-existing non-conforming structure. It's a unique situation with the land that it has there. Was not aware of it until such time as he started becoming interested in doing the expansion. Not self-created. It does appear that this is the minimum required to grant a minimum to relieve the hardship. It seems pretty straightforward, so I'll be voting in the affirmative. I don't see any problem with this particular application. Anybody else have comments? No? Okay, let's do a roll call vote. Ms. Cleary?
Approve.
Ms. Doolin?
Approve.
Ms. Sweeley?
Approve.
Ms. Lynch?
Approve?
The chair votes to approve. The yeas are 5, the nays are 0. The variance is approved. Okay. Congratulations. Okay, moving on to 82 Prospect Drive. Take a motion to take it off the table. Aye, Ms. Cleary. Second, Ms. Doolin. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Carries unanimously. Take a motion.
Yes.
Motion by Ms. Lynch to approve. Is there a second? By Ms. Cleary. Discussion.
For the 82 Prospect Drive for James and Patricia Lynch, a residents of Stratford for 26 years owning this home, this residence, due to asking for the RS4 zoning district, the variance of minimum front yard setback, building a home for his mother-in-law to have, in making sure she does not have to go upstairs and downstairs due to her health and her welfare being. The elderly mother-in-law is in need of being on the first floor to have access, which he has stated that she will have inside and outside access, easy accessible, as what Mr. James Lynch had stated on record. He is also asking for, he does keep the property clean though for Stratford, even though the town, he's been living there for 26 years, he's been shoveling, so the town should allow him to have this because he's been taking care of the property, well-groomed, well-mannered for 26 years. And what he's asking for, proposed addition, would there be located approximately 26.3 feet from the curve of the road. So, it is not disturbing the neighbor, which is Donna Alvis, the next door neighbor, who wrote a letter on his behalf of Mr. James and Patricia Lynch. Therefore, the hardship that he is asking for does not look conforming at all.
Okay, further comments? Okay. Ms. Doolin?
I guess the proposed construction site, like it could be moved, so it's like behind the house instead of next to it, so that it wouldn't abut into the right-of-way of the town. So I don't know if that was considered or not.
It's not within the right-of-way. It doesn't encroach on the right-of-way.
No, it
Correct?
does
Yeah.
not encroach within the right-of-way. I believe there was an existing floor plan, and the way the house is set up, attaching it to the back didn't functionally work with the way the existing house is laid out. I don't know if it's shown on the floor plans.
It should be, well, there's the small document that shows, that's highlighted in yellow, what the proposed floor plan is. It's this one, if you guys are looking for it.
So here's the, this little one, yeah.
I don't see any detail for the existing interior for these. But I did have discussions within the office with them regarding about alternatives.
Okay.
And it was explained to me that the way the house is designed with, I believe there's a bathroom right in the back, with a possible laundry room, all of that would have to be removed and relocated in order for it to functionally work directly behind the house.
Thank you.
Just add in a couple more comments on the right-of-way. So, in the discussion, you know, the basic issue here is that it's excessively large right-of-way, and that's certainly the case on Prospect Street. And as you can see, we can see in the maps here, it creates it sort of expands the size of the lot, really. You know, it makes it a lot larger than it is, and actually, just looking through it, you can see how it's constructed. And it creates, I think, a positive situation because of, as I mentioned in the discussion during the public hearing, it's a very small amount of space between the subject property and the one to the east of it. So it actually makes sure that the house looks more centered on the property. So it actually, you know, when you take that into account, it makes much more sense to go that way. And apparently, considering the fact that this similar situation has been in front of the board at least a couple times before, you know, then obviously that's sort of our predecessors on this board in 2002, you know, pretty much took this under consideration almost as a precedent that this was a situation worthy of looking at it for a variance. So that's good to know. It does not seem like this is something that they were aware of before, and it's a known situation and a very unusual situation in that particular street. So I don't have a problem with this. I think this qualifies for approval. Other members have comments, questions, thoughts? Okay. Go to a vote. Ms. Lynch?
Approve?
Ms. Sweeley?
Approve.
Ms. Doolin?
No.
No? Okay. Ms. Cleary?
Approve.
And the chair votes yes to approve. So on this vote, the yeas are 4, the nays are 1, and the variance is granted. Okay. Moving to our tabled item, 170 Orinoco Lane. Let's take a motion to take it off the table. By Ms. Lynch. Is there a second? By Ms. Cleary. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Carries unanimously. Should we take a motion to approve just so that we can discuss it?
Yes.
By Ms. Lynch. Is there a second? By Ms. Doolin. Okay, we can discuss. So, a little bit of background. We had tabled this last month because there was a legal question whether the stated hardship is indeed valid under our foundational document, which is Connecticut General Statutes 8-6. Essentially, to summarize, and we had some guidance provided by attorney Alex Florick. It says the applicant seeks to build a 6-foot-high fence running parallel to Orinoco Lane, approximately 18 feet from the street. Claim the hardship requires the 6-foot fence for reasons of privacy and safety. In his narrative, the description for the requested variance, the applicant cites to the layout of the property and proximity of the neighboring parcel. The general, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but if you read through his discussion, one of the questions that we're sort of charged with deciding, because I talked with him briefly about this, and he's like, I can't tell you guys what to do. This is something, the finding that the commission has to make. But basically, one of the things that the hardships that we are forced to determine is Is it connected to the usage of the land or the characteristics of the land, as opposed to anything that has to do with outside situations? And he cites some case law for us to consider. And again, this one that he mentions here, it goes right there. It says, "One who seeks a variance must show that because of some unusual characteristic of his property, a literal enforcement of the zoning regulations would result in an unusual hardship to him. The hardship complained of must arise directly out of the application of the ordinance to the circumstances and conditions beyond the control of the party involved." And that's Caruso versus Zoning Board of Appeals of the City of Meriden. Variances cannot be personal in nature and may only be based upon property conditions. Reed versus the Zoning Board of Appeals versus the Town of Lebanon, Connecticut, and so on. So when we heard this one, I had to step back a little bit and think about it. I know that there's a lot of activity going on that property. And I can understand the situation that the applicant finds themselves faced with. What perplexed me a little bit was I could understand if the fence was going to be facing the other side of the property, but it's facing the street. And that, I was having a hard time reconciling that. I'm not sure if anybody else did. But these are the types of things that we got to weigh in making our decision if we grant a variance. And I also know, I think maybe all of us received a picture that the fence had already been constructed. It's my understanding, after speaking with Dan, there was a misinterpretation of the procedural vote that we took to close the public hearing, that was interpreted to be an approval. Innocent mistake. I'll take it at face value. Sometimes we run through these motions kind of quickly because we're used to it, but we had not made a decision. We closed the public hearing. In the discussion, we came down to discuss, as we were debating it, we came to a question of law that we needed some guidance on, and then we tabled it. So that's the situation we're here about today, is, okay, we've gotten a little bit of guidance on this one. We still have to make a decision on this one. So happy to entertain discussion among the members of what they think about the situation before we go to a vote. Okay?
Well, personally, I wouldn't see the point of having the fence facing the firehouse. Is that what you're talking about?
Whether it be
Rather than facing the street?
the firehouse or the area that's going to be subject to some pretty heavy development probably over the next few years.
What
Go ahead.
So
development where?
I had previously approved a permit for the 6-foot fence
Okay.
compliant with the regulations. So there are portions that aren't shown on the information that we have. So there is a fence basically going the whole perimeter of the property. I don't believe that there's going to be one going in the back of it because it's a large wooded area in between that and the golf course. But there is a fence that runs alongside of the firehouse. That was permitted with our fence permit, setback 25 feet where the 6-foot fence initially started. And that was explained to the applicants prior to me approving that fence permit.
But that's a different type of fence than the one that they have facing the street.
Right, they're
What is
here,
that, a
they're
chain
here
link
just
fence?
for,
I don't exactly remember.
they're here just for the fence within the first 25 feet of the property.
Facing the street,
Facing the street.
yes.
Yep.
And wasn't that already built when we met last month?
No,
I thought it was.
the 6-foot fence, not that I'm aware of.
No, the firehouse gave approval. They didn't have any problems with the fence. They wrote a letter, gave us that they had no issues with their fence building to,
But I thought the fence was already in existence when we met last month, was it?
No.
Along the firehouse, it was, along that property
No,
line.
I'm
it
talking
was.
about the one facing the street.
I don't recall. I'm not sure if it was up.
Was that one facing the street? How long has that been in existence? Because we met last month. and I thought it was already
I'm Joe
there.
Negredo, I'm the builder for Oak Lane. We got the permits, as Dan explained, for the whole property, and we put well, not the whole property, alongside the firehouse and in the back of the property facing out the neighbors. Only area we didn't put the fence was towards the golf course. And the issue, and we came to a realization we didn't realize that the first 25 feet only can be 4 feet high. So we ask for a variance, see if we can
Yeah.
put it 6 foot high to give the privacy, because since being a little village in there, you want to give people a sense of safety and gives enhancement to the community. And unfortunately, we have the hardship where the 25 feet forward, we have the retention galleries in the ground. We cannot put the posts down that will go through the galley, so we gotta stay away from that. So force us to come a little closer to the road, less than 25 feet. Instead, 25 feet, we got like 18 feet or so that we have.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is, was that already in existence when we met
No, we
last
put it
month?
up.
Because I thought it was.
We put it up, and our mistake is, last meeting, we thought nobody is against, so it was a go-ahead, there's a vote of the, and it's okay to go on. We
So
came to
it's
our-
been built subsequent to our
Yeah,
last
it
meeting?
was subsequent to your meeting, because nobody was against, we thought everybody in favor, so okay, I think we're good, we're safe, we can go ahead and put the fence up. And then next you
All
get a
right,
letter
well,
from
then
Dan
I-
say, no, it didn't get approved yet, it got tabled. So, oh no, what do we
Yeah.
do now? So
I
that's,
don't know, I just
that's
remember it
where we are.
differently. I thought it was already up. I mean, I saw it today,
yeah, it's up before you final approval. The
and it
last
wasn't already there then.
No, it was not
That's
there
fine.
before, we put it on like a month or so ago.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm
But
thinking
we
about
landscape nice, it's a beautiful fence, you got a beautiful shrubs
Okay,
around.
I'm just
a
gonna
lot of
stop you
flowers.
right there. Just procedurally, the public hearing was completed, so there was a technical question I think that you had that was, had the fence been constructed?
Yeah,
But
it's okay.
I'll allow that question, but we're still, right now, we can't take any more public testimony, so, just procedural. Yeah. Okay.
And I just have to get
Also-
on the record, I wasn't here last month, but I did watch the video of last month's hearing on this agenda item.
Thank you. Thank you for noting that. Appreciate it.
So when the builder was here, my understanding, when receiving from the firehouse, they didn't have any disagreement with the 6-foot fence for the property of the condos. They did send an email, which we received, a letter from them. The fence was not up as yet. They were asking for 6 foot, even though they wanted it for the privacy of the condominiums all around the premises, for security, and that's what we were asking for. They were asking for security, make the property look better. The firehouse did give approval to let them build it. They didn't find any issues with that. And now it's built because they thought we approved it, so that's why you see the fence up now.
Ms. Cleary?
I'm wondering, what are the repercussions of saying approving this? Are we going to have very high fences all over the place? Well, they did it. I'm just curious.
I don't think it's going to go that way. I mean, the applicant is doing the right thing. They're in they find a situation where they want to do something that is not permitted under the zoning regulations. So their avenue of recourse is to come to the Zoning Board of Appeals and ask for a variance. The variances are allowed when you have a demonstrable hardship connected to the land. And that's what we have to find and agree with in order to grant it. So they're doing the right thing. Now, if somebody else says, oh, I want a 6-foot fence, those guys did it, I'm gonna do it myself. No, it doesn't work that way. Then we can actually issue a cease and desist. They're doing something that is against the zoning regulations. So I don't think it's something that's gonna be widespread, but this is unique to this particular situation. You know, we have a fence regulation. It says for this particular situation, 4 feet. If you want more, then you have to come before us and demonstrate you have a hardship that requires you, that allows you to get that variance of the regulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is personal in nature. Because they have difficult interactions have been very difficult with a neighboring parcel. So that's just my opinion.
Anyone else have comments? I mean, my difficulty here is where the fence is. I can certainly understand a need for privacy. I can understand it's sort of in a unique situation because of the activity that's going on in the property behind it, but I just can't quite understand how that applies to the fence facing Oronoque Lane.
I don't understand that either.
And that's gonna sort of,
But the fence facing Oronoque Lane is not meant to be 6 feet, is it? It's meant to be 4 feet, which is what it is now. I'm sorry, but the height of it.
We are behind the limit, but the limit only could be 4 feet. But to go back a little farther more, but precisely where the galleries are, which is not, we cannot construct a fence in that area.
Yeah, but you're not asking for a 6-foot fence, right?
he's asking for a
Oh,
6
you
foot.
are asking for a
That's
6
what's in the record.
That's what we put out, that's what we saw.
Yeah, that's what the nature of the variance is for, is to exceed the allowed 4-foot fence for a 6-foot fence along that front portion on
see.
Oronoque. If they were proposing the fence at 25 feet or beyond from the front property line, they would be able to do that essentially with a fence permit, just from administratively. But since they're proposing 6 feet at 18 feet from the property line, which is in that 25 feet, they need a variance approval from this board.
Yeah, this is one of the more complicated ones we've got in a
Yeah,
while,
yes,
so
I mean-
I do appreciate all the members taking the time to understand
Wow.
and work through this one, because it's not a straightforward answer. Like a lot of the things that we get are usually pretty clear-cut, yes or no, but this one is sort of in that gray area, so I do appreciate everybody taking the time to deliberate. So, any further thoughts, questions, comments?
I
Ms.
just,
Dillon?
just to be clear, on the 25 feet of the property line, like he was saying, so it's, right now the fence is within 18 feet? So it's closer to the road than,
Yeah, so the
Should be.
the property line, the front property line, I can't tell exactly how far off of that front curb it is, but that's where, so the property line is set back maybe about 10 feet. So from that 10 feet off of the curb is where the front property line is. Our regulations require anything within, from the front property line going back for the first 25 feet, a fence cannot be taller than 4 feet.
okay.
After that 25-foot mark, they can, by the regulations, jump right up to 6 feet. So
Okay.
since the fence that they're proposing isn't beyond that 25-foot mark,
Has to be,
it can only be 4 feet.
got it. Thank you, Dan.
So essentially, they would have to move it back?
They would have to move it back, but the problem is there are underground galleys in that 25.
Yeah, that's what he was explaining to me, which I never knew anything about.
That's why I wasn't sure if
Does.
it could be moved back further.
Right.
It can't. Can't be, right?
Not with the, I believe their water filtration galleys, stormwater management galleys there, which would be right in the area where the fence posts need to go in.
How long have those been there? Did we get any testimony on that?
I don't know. I don't believe so.
So he's asking for the variance so that he can do the 6-foot fence, even though it's not within our regulations. Because he can't,
Because it's
Move
tall,
it back.
because it's taller than 4 feet, he needs
yeah,
a variance.
he can't, and he can't move it back because of the underground,
Pipe, water.
whatever those are called, you know. Okay? Frankly, I was there today, and to me, it just seems like a positive thing for people who live in their first building to have that insulation from the traffic. I don't know whether that plays into our decision or not, but if I lived in that building, that first building, I would want that for 6 feet. I don't know if that matters or not, but that's my opinion. Does that matter or not?
Okay. Oh. You actually, no, because the public hearing has concluded, so you can't. We just take a 1-minute recess.
Yeah, I already seen it.
This doesn't really clear things up for me. That's, to me, more confusion. Yeah, the fence we're talking about is the one off of right on Ordnance Lane.
Okay, back on the record. Okay, so any further thoughts or questions?
Well, like Dan said, the owner, the developer, he is in a sticky situation because he cannot set it back because of the water flowing, water pipes. It's already there. So, and the first building, they're just asking for a little taller so the residents can have their privacy. And plus, it's a security when people are walking through. You know, a lot of things happen. People passing by on the street, at least they're secure in their complex. So it makes sense to me.
Okay, any further questions, comments?
So that building number 1 is part of the development, even though it's not in the little circle where all the other buildings are?
Yeah, because the driveway,
It's a spider web.
that's the firehouse. Okay, yeah, the driveway goes over to the side of the house.
Yeah.
Right. Again, yeah, it just seems like that, I can understand the fence being on either side of that road.
I don't know what point
But not
that
there.
would be. What point would it be to be on
Well-
the other side of the road?
I mean, it's sort of a unique situation where you have this street that creates this like narrow corridor that's gonna go up to the new development. But it really has no impact on Oronoke Lane. So, I'm not, I see, I have, I'm not really seeing how this this stated hardship actually applies to the situation that they're looking to relieve. I think that's my problem, right there. So I'm tending to be I think I'm going to be a no vote on this one. Okay. Further discussion? If not, Ms. Cleary? And we are voting.
No.
Ms. Doolan?
No?
Ms. Sweeley?
Yes.
Ms. Lynch?
Yes.
The chair votes no. In this vote, the yeas are 2, the nays are 3, and the variance is denied. Okay. Moving on. Oh, actually, I did the agenda wrong. Okay, so approval of minutes of the September 7th, 2025 meeting?
Yes. Yes.
I have one correction.
Yes, please.
I think on the public hearing, does it matter the spelling of terrace? I don't know if that matters.
We'll correct that. We'll take that as an amendment. Any other changes, corrections? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Carries unanimously. Okay, any campsite reviews? Any erosion or sediment controls? Any members' concerns or comments? Ms. Clary?
How does this, this denial
What does he
affect
do now?
anything?
Yeah.
They have to take it down?
Take 2 feet off.
Microphone.
I reached out to them and I spoke, so the younger guy here is the developer's son, and this was the first time he was ever at a zoning board. It was kind of a teaching moment. As Chris mentioned earlier, he assumed that the public hearing was over and he left. So he had no idea that there was an administrative portion of it. When I called him and told him, you weren't approved for the 6-foot fence, it was tabled and it's still to be decided, he was shocked. And he was remorseful, and he asked me, I'll cut it down right now. I'll cut it down to 4 feet. And at that point I said, the meeting's 2 weeks away. If it's approved, you're not just gonna be able to rebuild it, you're gonna have to start from the ground up again. So just wait until the board makes a decision on it. So at this point, they'll go back and they'll just cut it down to 4 feet.
Well, it's already at 4 feet.
It's actually 6 feet.
6 feet.
6 feet right now.
It is?
Yes.
Yep.
It didn't look like that when I was there.
Yeah, so we'll give them some time to get it down. If for some reason they don't, that's when I'll issue a cease and desist. But they have been very responsive to all of our permitting, dealing with the neighbors up there, talking to the firehouse up there. So they've been pretty nice to work with compared to.
And we,
There's a language problem.
It was a
There is a language
miscommunication.
problem.
Well, it was the
Maybe,
younger
a little
son
bit.
that was his first meeting of zoning. So he must have told his father, yeah, got approved, but wasn't, because he had left.
and I'll take that as a learning moment for myself. When Dan and I discussed it after we got the letters in the mail, I got to learn to slow it down a little bit and make it clear that that procedural vote that we do is to conclude the public hearing for that item. It's not necessarily it is not, period, an approval on the merits of the application. So I always used to wonder about that, if someday somebody would misunderstand what we were doing, and sure enough, it did happen. So again, as I said before, I take them at their word. It's an innocent mistake, and they were very cooperative in offering to rectify it. When we talked about it, I says, you know, not knowing which way this vote was going to go, I was like, you know, just let it sit for a couple weeks until we actually have make a final decision and let it go. So I appreciate their cooperation. I know they're probably disappointed, but I thank them for cooperating with the town. Yeah.
Well, so now, what they have to do is to, just cut 2 feet off of what they've already built? And it sure didn't seem like it was 6 feet to me when I was there today.
Yeah, and prior to tonight's meeting, I went up to both applicants and kind of just walked through the process.
Okay.
Told them the public hearing will end, we'll go into an administrative session, and that's when the board will actually vote. So
Yeah.
I'll continue to do that.
That's good, yeah. Sometimes it's good to just coach people on the procedure, especially if it's a new person coming, especially ZBA, like a regular zoning, you tend to get attorneys representing petitioners, and so they've been through this several times, like when Attorney Knott comes before us, you know, he's been through an awful lot of zoning hearings. When it's people representing themselves, sometimes our procedure might be a little bit murky, and the last thing we say is, oh, I'm good to go, and walk out the door when we still have to deliberate and make a final decision, you know, and then we usually do send a written decision to them as well, yeah, so, yeah.
Well, I think especially when there is a language problem, it would be wise for them to have someone representing them who could explain things to them.
Yeah. Okay, any other concerns or comments? Okay, looking ahead, a couple items I'll take under other items. One is just a reminder, our meeting next month is on Wednesday, November 5th. That is to avoid a conflict on Election Day. Hopefully, all will be well and we'll be able to use the council chambers.
Yeah,
So
Andrea will find out if she's.
find out she's on the ballot. So I know a couple of our members are up for election. We wish everybody the best. So, you know, hopefully everybody comes back. And, you know, so we'll come out on Wednesday. In December, I just told Dan, I have a sort of a conflict on our meeting night. We'll see if there's a way that we can get around it. If not, I can probably just skip that. I'd rather hang out with you guys, so. But, you know, if we can accommodate that, I know in December it gets a little bit rough with you know, holiday plans and so on anyway. So we'll see everybody on Wednesday, November 5th. And last thing, I just want to take a moment of my own point of personal privilege on something completely not zoning related. As I was driving over here today, I got word that a cousin of mine, Matt Picata, had passed away at the age of 100. And I bring it up only because he had the sort of the distinction of being one of only 3 or 4 still living World War II veterans in the town of Stratford. And we were very close. He always put up one of my signs very proudly. And I just, in my capacity as an elected official in this town, I just want to thank him, and may he rest in peace, and all the best to his family, which will be missing him a lot. So I want to share that. Thank you.
My condolences for.
Thank you.
So how was he? Was he still?
It was fantastic. We had his
lively and
party
sharp?
Sharp as a Knife in March, and back when he was like 92, he decided he wanted to buy a truck. So he was in one of those great people that was good all the way to the end. So we'll miss him a lot. But a great grand. So
He lives in Stratford?
he lived in Stratford
By himself, too?
with his daughters. So yeah. But so now I think there's only 2 or 3. I can't remember what the number was, but there's only a few World War II veterans in Stratford. So, you know, people that cherish those folks.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank them for his service.
Okay, any other items before the board? If not, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
Sure.
Ms. Doolin, second by Ms. Lynch. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Carries unanimously, and we are out of here at 8:17. Thanks a lot, everybody.